Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to discuss about second year topic, that is pelvic tilt. So let's start with the presentation. As we all know, whenever this pelvic tilt is occurring, it produces the combined and coordinated motion at the lumbar spine, hip and the pelvis. So which all types of pelvic tilts are occurring? Anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt, then lateral pelvic tilt. It includes pelvic hike and pelvic drop and pelvic rotation. So anterior and posterior pelvic tilt can be measured by the many ways. So mainly three ways we use, that is the lumbosacral angle measurement, then pelvic inclinometer, and by drawing the vertical line. So first we'll see about the lumbosacral angle. So how to measure this angle? The one line which is parallel to the ground, the horizontal line which is parallel to the ground, and another line which will draw or which will pass through the sacrum, the base of the sacrum, and the angle between this horizontal line and this the line which is passing through the base of the sacrum will checked, and this angle is called as the lumbosacral angle. Normally this angle is around 30 degree. So another method is the pelvic inclinometer. So one arm of the pelvic inclinometer will be kept at the PSIS level and the other arm will be kept at the pubic symphysis, and the angle will be recorded. Okay, so we'll see first anterior pelvic tilt. Anterior pelvic tilt is occurring in the whole pelvic ring, in the entire pelvic ring, and it occurs in the sagittal plane around the coronal axis. Okay, so what will happen? So normally, in the normal individual, ASIS will lies in a same line with the PSIS, and ASIS will lies in a vertical direction with the pubic symphysis. Okay, so whenever we draw a vertical line, this this line will be in a vertical direction which passes from the ASIS to the pubic symphysis. Okay, so whenever the posterior pelvic tilt is occurring, that time the sacrum is moving closer to the femur. So here the sacrum is moving in the more downward direction, and this small arrow is indicating the pubic symphysis motion. So pubic symphysis is moving in the upward direction. Okay, so here you all can see this sacrum is moving in the downward direction and this pubic symphysis is moving in the upward direction. Whereas during the anterior tilting, the opposite motion will occur. So ASIS will move in the downward direction, whereas sacrum is moving in the upward direction. So that moves away from the femur. Here the sacrum is moving closer to the femur, whereas here the sacrum is moving away from the femur. Okay. So hip joint extension through the posterior tilting of the pelvis brings the symphysis pubis up and the sacrum of the pelvis closer to the femur. So here you all can see sacrum of the pelvis moving closer to the femur, and this pubic symphysis is moving in the upward direction. So during the hip flexion through the anterior tilting of the pelvis moves the ASIS anteriorly and inferiorly, and the inferior sacrum moves further away from the femur. So here you all can see this ASIS is moving anteriorly and in the inferior direction. So this arrow is indicating the downward motion, whereas sacrum is moving in the upward direction, but that moves away from the femur. Okay. So which all muscles are responsible for this abnormal anterior and posterior pelvic tilt? So we'll see with this diagram. Here this dark line is indicating the tight muscle. So this tight iliopsoas, that is the hip flexors, and tight erector spinae, that is the back extensors muscle, will produce this tilting. And opposite side, that is weak gluteus muscle and weak abdominal muscles are responsible for this tilt. So here you all can see this is anterior pelvic tilt and this is the posterior pelvic tilt. So this is all about the anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. We'll see in the detail about the lateral pelvic tilt in the next lecture. Thank you.